Hey there, welcome back to another video. This time around, it is yet another album review, and the album that I'm going to be reviewing this time around is Vultures 2. Before I get around to sharing my thoughts on this album, I want to give a special shout out yet again to Shine for requesting this video. And if there's another album review, film review, TV show review, or topic that you would like to see me discuss in the future, feel free to donate to either my PayPal or to my Patreon. Link to both is in the video description down below, and I will try to get to your request as soon as I possibly can. Now, Vultures 2 is an album that has got a lot of harsh criticism from critics. And I guess maybe it's because I am definitely more of a person who prefers at least a handful of tracks in an album that I like versus an album that has a bunch of tracks that are just kind of forgettable, combined with tracks that I don't like at all. So there really isn't a single track that I actually like, but it's more cohesive in terms of its tone. I don't really care about that. I don't care about that as much as good songs. And I actually felt that Vultures 2 was a better album than Vultures 1. And what's funny is when I first heard this album, I thought it was pretty bad and I thought I liked it less than Vultures 1, but I revisited Vultures 1 and then I also listened to this one and I like this one better. So maybe this could be one of the same things for anyone else who might not have really been into this album the first time around. Now, as usual, I'm just going to go through and give my thoughts on each track. And I'm definitely going to make it clear yet again that I am definitely not a rap critic. I'm definitely not an expert. I'll mix some things up. Maybe I'll mention a track that features Kanye, but it doesn't actually feature Kanye. It features another artist on it. I don't have a lot of experience talking about or discussing these kind of albums, so I'm just going to do my best. Track one on Vultures 2 is called Slide, and this one opens up in an interesting way with an instrumental that really evokes the THX music. The music that used to play before movies in the theater, where you had the THX logo and it was parodied in The Simpsons, where they're like, "And the audience is now deaf." Like that. That's really how the instrumental sounds in Slide. Slide features Kanye and Dolla Sign, and I don't really, yeah, this one doesn't feature any sampling. It doesn't really feature any guest artists on it other than, Kanye and Ty Dolla Sign, which they're not guests. They're just regular contributors to this album. It's not what I would consider to be an amazing track by any means, but it's listenable, and I think it's for the most part pretty well constructed, and I like the THX stylized opening instrumental and how that's utilized throughout the song. Track two is called Time Moving Slow. It's like 2 minutes and 40 seconds. And this one features Kanye and Ty Dolla Sign again. And also features additional vocals from Curva, Nord, Milano Ultras. This is also a track that doesn't really feature a lot of sampling, but this one is just pretty meh, kind of bland. It doesn't move that slow, but it also isn't really something that has the best flow, to be honest. It's just very lackadaisical and almost lazy in some ways. Track three is called Field Trip. This one features Kanye, Ty Dolla Sign, Playboy Cardi, Don Tolliver, Kodak Black. There are things about this track that I like. I like the contributions from the other artists on this track. I like some of the lyrics. I like some of the beats, but once it starts sampling a instrumental from Portishead's Machine Gun, it loses me. I don't really understand why the hell that was chosen. It doesn't fit with the song at all, and it just comes out of nowhere like an RKO from Randy Orton. Um, but I would say, due to some of the other aspects of the track that I didn't mind, I definitely liked it more than Time Moving Slow or Slide. Track 4 is called Fried. This one was very silly, but I, I honestly kind of liked it. It was silly, it was over the top, but it was entertaining. It was another really short track, so it's not like it really overstayed its welcome. It also features additional vocals from Curva Nord Milano Ultras, and that's like the choral instrumental or the backing track that they use for this, and it's pretty catchy and definitely sticks in your ear in a good way. So I don't mind Fried. Some good some good comedic lyrics referencing, various different fried foods and stuff like that. Uh, Track 5, Isabella, is another just, what even is this? Useless filler, 9 second. I'm not even instrumental, just an experimental remix of I Love Rock and Roll by Joan Jett and like something about shoes. Like, I don't, it's probably some kind of reference that I don't get, but yeah, I definitely did not really care that much for it. But then again, it's only 9 seconds, so I can't really say much about it anyway. Track 6 is a Promotion. This is another one that's just kind of there for me. Like, there are some aspects of it that I thought was decent. Some of the rapping was fine. And I also didn't necessarily completely hate the overall composition of the song, but it's not really a track though that really stands out or really is something that you would listen to again and again. It's not like a banger by any means. Future does some good vocals on it, and I'll give him some credit. Um, Track 7 is called 530. And the version I listened to was the version that would first drop, not the AI altered version. That version sucks. I actually like Kanye's mumble rapping in this, especially near the end. There's something about it that is just, it's just so raw. And I think in a lot of ways the song, when you listen to the lyrics and when you uh just really kind of dig a little bit deeper with that track, I think the mumble rapping and him just basically trailing off by the end of it really does fit. It almost sounds like he's drunk. He's talking about Patron, and it sounds like he's just drunk, and that's what the whole vibe of the track is. It's as if he recorded a track while he was drunk, and I thought it was interesting. And it's not a track that I would say I loved, but I didn't hate it like a lot of other people did. Track 8 is Dead, and by the way, I'll go. I want to go back to 530 real quick because I want to give some credit to um some of the other. Yeah, there was this. Yeah, the samples of "Break the Fall" acoustic by Swish, which was included in the track. So I want to give some credit to the samples because I felt that was actually pretty well utilized as well. And there's some catchy hooks in that too. Like, it's not really that bad of a track. At least a version that doesn't have the AI shit at the end. Like, the mumble rap version is actually kind of okay. Track 8 is Dead. like I mentioned earlier. And this is another track that I honestly could kind of take or leave. Features Little Dirk. I've just realized that anything that features this guy, I don't really like. I don't. Maybe it's because he's an acquired taste or something. I don't know. I don't really care for Little Dirk or his rapping style. Future is not too bad on it, but the lyrics are just below average. It's just and it's a track that honestly kind of sounds like it's a little unfinished and not very polished. And I that's a track where I can definitely see a lot of the critics' overall thoughts on this in full view when it comes to the album as a whole. They're talking about how it sounds like it's unfinished and it's like a bunch of demos, and that definitely sounds like one of them, as well as 530 at points. But 530 was interesting enough that I liked it a lot more than Dead. Um, and it doesn't feature any samples either, so that's another reason why it's just kind of boring to me. Track 9, Forever Rolling. I actually like this track. I like the opening, Forever Rolling, and I like the instrumentals, and I like a lot of the vocals in it. I actually like the overall flow, the rhythm of the track as well. Yeah, I actually like Little Baby's verse, so like that one's not that bad. I That's one of the better tracks on the album. I like that song more than any song on Vultures 1. Now, track 10 though, it's appropriately titled Bomb. This is a bomb of a track. Like this is awful. This was bad. It features this really annoying rendition of some kind of Asian influenced instrumental with like a canned scream effect that sounded like something you would hear in like a cheap Flash video game, and then some really just annoying verses and contributions from Kanye West's daughters, North in Chicago, and Miles. I hated this track. Like this was the first track on this album that I was like, okay, this really sucks. I don't want to listen to this again. And I twice is enough. I will not listen to this a third time. Track 11 though, River. That one was another decent track. Another track I honestly kind of liked from this album. Had a good usage of some, gospel music. I like the overall instrumental. I like the vocals by Young Thug and Curva Nord Milano, Ultras, and Charlie Wilson. Um, I liked how the samples of River by Leon Bridges were thrown into the track. Like that one was fine. That was one of the better tracks for sure. Track 12 is called Forever, which is also known as Maybe, which honestly is a title that makes more sense considering that this is just a track that is mostly compromised out of a remix of Maybe by Kitten Carousel. And it's another one of those tracks, like some of the tracks from Life of Pablo, that's just very experimental and just seems like it's just an experimental remix and not a real song. Um, but it's okay. Uh, Tracks 13 and 14 are kind of connected together in terms of the themes and the lyrics. Track 13 is Husband. Track 14 is Lifestyle. I don't like Husband. I really don't like that track. It's another track from Kanye that's very superficial, very up his own ass, talking about being a good husband and all of that. And I really did not care for it. And then track 14, Lifestyle, I would say is better than track 13, Husband, but that's not saying much because Husband was honestly pretty terrible. So track 14, Lifestyle, at least has some good instrumentals and has a good Has some okay hooks at points. But there's a lot of Kanye just trying to be an R&B singer, and it's kind of it's not kind of, it is laughable. Um, but at least he's not going like he did on a Field Trip or Time Moving Slow. I think it was either Field Trip or Moving Slow where he's going like I didn't need to hear Kanye delivering what his O face might sound like. Um, but yeah, lifestyle and husband, and don't not really tracks that I'm super big on. Track 15 though, Sky City, I actually thought was good. I would say that's definitely my favorite track on the album, other than the bonus track, Take Off Your Dress, which I thought was also really good. But Sky City, I really like this track. I felt that Kanye and Dolla Sign did a good job, producing it, and adding their contributions to the track. Um, I like the vocals from 070 Shake, Designer, Sci High, The Dream, Ant Clemens. I like the interpretation of Ooh Child by the Five Stair Steps. Um, yeah, that one I liked. I liked that track. That one I would listen to again. Track 16, My Soul, another one that's just, I wouldn't say soulless, but not the most spirited track despite its title. Another one that's very gospel infused, similar to River, but not as good. Um, it features, I think this one's, yeah, it features vocals from Ty Dolla Sign's Big Brother, Big TC, additional vocals from Todd Rundgren and the Sunday Service Choir, and no samples or anything. Track 17 though, Take Off Your Dress, like that one is I think it's a certified banger in all honesty. It's definitely one of the best tracks on this album, and it's not even a track that was even actually included on the original album when it dropped, but it's definitely gotten some play as of late, and I think it has some really good usage of the samples from "Please Make It Good Again" by Talmadge Armstrong, and there's a lot of great contributions from a lot of the different people who were involved with the track. That should have been on the main album instead of some of these other tracks. Like, just get rid of Isabella or Dead or Bomb or and put Take Off Your Dress on there. Like, that's actually a good song. Um, and I know I didn't mention the the additional people who contributed to Lifestyle, and yeah, Lifestyle is only one I wasn't able to mention who contributed to it. Lil Wayne, he contributed vocals to it. His vocals were fine, but like just still wasn't really a fan of that song. And I would say I'm not like a massive huge fan of this album at the end of the day, or a huge massive fan of Kanye West. Um I definitely don't agree with his opinions on a lot of things. But I do think he does have some talent, but I think he's definitely starting to slip. I don't think this album is as bad as people make it out to be, but it's definitely not what I would consider to be a good album overall. It's just mediocre. It's a mediocre album for me personally, with some good songs that I didn't mind, but some other songs that I didn't really care for at all, or tracks that just were very forgettable and kind of lame. But that's just my thoughts on this album. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. See ya.